Every team manages time differently, so it only makes sense that Beebole offers complete customizations to help you manage how time is tracked, reviewed, and reported. Let's learn how to use Timesheet Settings in this video. In your Beebole admin account, you'll find the Timesheet Settings module on the Settings page. If it doesn't appear, you can click Customize and add it to your available panels. You can also add the module to any company branch or person's screen to define specific timesheet settings there. These settings are specific to project time tracking users. If you aren't already using project tracking, you can enable it from this menu by changing your selection to yes. Once you do this, you'll see a bevy of new options to give you complete control over project time tracking. Make sure to check out our full-length video to describe why you might choose this option. Next up, you can decide if you want to disable time tracking before a certain date. This can be useful if you want to prevent people from adding or editing entries in past months that have already gone through payroll or billing, avoiding discrepancies. Next up, you can choose to turn on start and end time or timer options and select if they should be mandatory. Use this if you want your team to track in real time, with the timer, or if they need to comply with a certain schedule, for example. The next option to consider is the precision and format of your track time. First, choose whether to display track time in a decimal format or in hours and minutes. And of course, you can also tweak just how specific you want your time recordings to be under minimum quantity of time accepted. If a shorter amount of time is entered, the entry will automatically be rounded up to the nearest multiple of that minimum. Similarly, you can also disable the submission of timesheets with less than the scheduled hours for a day or week. If your defined schedule for a day is 8 hours, users will need to enter 8 hours of work before they can submit that day's timesheet, for example. Schedules, including the default hours per day and week, can be modified in the Schedule Settings section of your settings screen. The next block of settings gives you total control over the workflow for approvals and notifications. First of all, you can choose if you want your timesheets to be approved at all with the simple yes/no settings. Next, it's important to consider if team leaders should be notified when timesheets are submitted. This is a great way to keep leaders in the loop as new time info comes in. You can also set up notifications for project managers who may or may not have employee management responsibilities in addition to project oversight. Select if you want only project managers to approve the time tracked on their projects. For example, an employee with a team leader may track hours on a project that has a project manager. This setting will determine who's responsible for reviewing and approving that time. Also, consider turning on staff notifications when timesheets are rejected or approved. You can always copy the sender of a notification. Finally, if you want more detail added to time entries, toggle on the Require comments when submitting timesheet setting. If you have too many unsubmitted timesheets, you can always improve that rate by turning on reminders. This helpful dropdown automates reminders to timesheet users who have not yet submitted their time entries for the corresponding period by the specific time. The last two settings in this module are related to compliance and record keeping. Click to ensure DCAA or Defense Contract Audit Agency compliance. DCAA compliant timekeeping requires precise tracking of time spent on projects, time off, and costs. Track time must be approved, an audit trail with all time data kept, and other key requirements met, and this option enables it. You can also select to only enable the audit trail setting. This will keep an indefinite record of everything that happens in your time tracking environment. Once you enable it, you can find a complete transactional record in Settings, Account, Download Your Data, Audit Trail. Make sure to enable this if you have audit or compliance guidelines and need a complete record in CSV format, ready for analysis in a spreadsheet. Not every team will use every option, but it's important to know what you have at your disposal. Thanks for watching.